And what if I'm so sad and scared of the dark out there that I put poison in me?
Dead will walk, and you, unbeliever, will scream unheard.
Stop it!
This is its skin.
Now I want you two to get good rest.
What if I have a bad dream?
Well, I'm sure we can handle any dream you have.
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com in review, and I've said this before and I want to say it again. Mike Flanagan is likely the best horror director working today, period. His work is nuanced, it's layered, it's multi-textured, but most importantly, it's actually scary. James Wan, Andy Muschietti, no comparison to Mike Flanagan. You want evidence of this? Never mind his prior filmography, which is pretty good. Let's look at The Haunting of Hill House, currently aired on Netflix, which I just finished watching. Remarkable television. It reminds me in some ways of American Horror Story. If American Horror Story were, as I mentioned earlier, nuanced, multifaceted, actually scary, as opposed to cheap, tawdry, and just not that interesting to watch. But let's look at The Haunting of Hill House. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it's damn close to it. It revolves around Hill House, which is haunted, and this family that is experiencing these manifestations. What makes it, for me at any rate, work so well is that you initially don't know if what they're seeing is due to their own issues, which there are plenty, or due to the house itself. Psst, it's the house. So you're seeing these characters work things out and try to understand what's going on around them. It's well done, it's well acted, the 10 episodes go really fast, and it's, as I said, it's genuinely scary. Is it perfect though? No, it's not. Though the problems with it are relatively minor ones. Some of the female actors, the adult female actors, look alike, and which kind of muddies the water a little bit. There's another point in a similar vein revolving around a male actor. Michael Huisman, H-U-I-S-M-A-N, Huisman, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. But in any case, he looks so much like Dan Futterman, it distracted me. At least the first 2 or 3 episodes. Because the way his hair is styled, the way his face looks, I think he's taller, but you never actually see him in a way that brings that out. So he looks almost exactly like Dan Futterman facially. And it was just, for a while, really bothering me. In that it's like, whoa, this dude looks just like Dan Futterman. I wish they would have changed that, because it just distracted me. In a similar way that the adult female actors looked alike. But again, Dan Futterman wasn't actually in the series. Just that I know what Dan Futterman looks like, I was a little taken out. But on the whole, minor nitpicks. Another that just popped in my head is that the cinematography is very flat. I don't know if this was done as a storytelling element, in the sense that it's saying that these people, though alive, are dead. That's possible. But at the same time, though, the color palette is relatively flat and restrained. I think, at least for me, it distracted somewhat. It gave everything a sameness to it that I think doesn't necessarily benefit it. I would have liked colors to have been brighter, to pop. That way you can create contrast. I was watching Seven a few days ago, directed by David Fincher, and noted that he has a thing for close-ups. I mean, really tight. The camera's literally right here in terms of, well, maybe the camera, obviously you can adjust a lens, but it's the idea of the close-up. And he does this a lot with faces and machinery and just what you would think of as mundane tasks. He draws the camera in really tight. And Mike Flanagan has a few visual stylings that he tends to use as well. Typically, though, he places the camera far away from the subject. So things will be happening in the foreground while the subject is actually in the background. It's a really interesting thing because the eye doesn't know where to go. Because you'll see a scene unfold and there's someone in the background, camera clearly focused on them, but something is happening in the foreground, or reverse that. The character is in the main character is in the foreground. In the background, something is happening. And he balances this in such a way that's really interesting. It doesn't distract from what's happening in the foreground, but at the same time it tells you that the background is not to be dismissed as well, that it's an important storytelling element. And that's really interesting. And it's a distinctive Mike Flanagan type of shot. And in reference to Haunting on Hill House, he directs all 10 episodes. I think he wrote at least 2 to 3. Wrote or co-wrote 2 or 3 of the episodes, but he directed all of them. And this is such a good thing. Why is it such a good thing, you might ask? Well, because when different directors handle something, they bring their own visual stylings. You can't dictate what one director will do, and well, you can to an extent. You can storyboard it out, but a director sees the way they see, and they shoot the way they shoot. And all the storyboarding in the world is not going to change that. They have a particular style. So if different people were to direct each episode of The Haunting of Hill House, it would have a slightly different look. The approach would change slightly based upon who's doing the work, which is fairly obvious. But Mike Flanagan directs all 10 episodes. This means that the look remains consistent every single episode. And that's really important in terms of continuity and feel and atmosphere, which this series has in spades. And The House on Haunted Hill, which is not the name of this, by the way. And The Haunting of Hill House is great television by a director at the peak of his powers. It's creepy, it's well done, it's enjoyable, and the characters are great. The Haunting of Hill House, brilliant, great TV. If you like horror, slow boil horror, by the way, again, there are 10 episodes of this. It has to gradually build to something. If you like your horror subtle, nuanced, with interesting characters and well written, The Haunting of Hill House should be your destination. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.